Hello and welcome to the Northern Star Acting Podcast. Today I'm interviewing an actor with a real inspirational story. With me today I have Chris Torretto. Thank you, Chris.
Yep, thank you for having me.
Really good to have you on here today. So, shall we go from the beginning? Okay, I'm going to let you talk. Tell us about your story.
Basically, a bit of background is I grew up in Northern Ireland. Quite a rough area, to be truthfully honest. Growing up with the usual riots, shootings, stuff like that, the usual stuff that happens in Northern Ireland. But harder than that, I grew up in a very abusive home, which kind of left me a bit quiet and secluded as a child.
Yeah.
And that led to me becoming homeless at a young age as a teenager. And left me pretty much sleeping rough, and then from couch surfing to sleeping in barns, garages, abandoned buildings. Basically then just I kept going, got on my feet, and in 2011 I was finally on my feet working. Everything was going great for me, and I was attacked outside a bank and robbed and beaten and left for dead. And basically, yeah, that kind of knocked me back for a good couple of years, where I suffered that agoraphobia where I couldn't leave the house. I started getting depressed, stuff like that. And then, I don't know, I think, to be honest, like I just kind of got lucky they beat it, to be truthfully honest.
So you've had all of these things happen, and we're going to go more into your acting and what you've got coming up in a bit. But it's amazing how you've got past all that and how you've turned it around. I mean, how did you manage to do that? What help? Was there any help out there for you?
To be honest, whenever I was struggling really bad, I was kind of found by a guy who owned a gym in Northern Ireland. Right. And honestly, he took me under his wing. Kind of protected me, showed me the ropes as far as like going to the gym and stuff, and really looked after me. So basically, I pretty much ate, slept, and everything in the gym.
Wow!
And that helped me get on my feet, which led me to doing that kind of work. And then just people then from the gym, really, they gathered around me and kind of helped me, and a few of them helped me set up my first home and stuff.
Wow!
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to. I think, to be truthfully honest, everybody asked the same question as how come I didn't turn to drugs or alcohol, but it just never appealed to me. I was more worried about just trying to keep in contact with friends that I used to have at school, finding somewhere to stay, and then just, to be honest, just staying alive, just constantly on the move and trying to set up a life.
Wow. It shows, doesn't it? You know, some kindness can go a long way. It's amazing, you know, they helped you get back up on your feet and gave you something to live for every day, didn't they? And just gave you that step up to sort yourself out. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's you who did it, isn't it? It's you.
Well, the thing is, like, I had to try and deal with what I was going through mentally. A lot of demons, in other words, as they would call it, that you have to sort of push away from. But to be honest, no, I didn't do it myself, and I couldn't have done it. I don't know. I don't know if I could have done it myself. But the fact that having those people there, and one of them now is just basically, he's a father figure pretty much to me.
Yeah.
And he has been my whole, since I was a teen now, right up, like, so.
That's amazing.
I couldn't have done it without him.
That's amazing. But without you being willing to want to turn everything around, then it wouldn't have happened. So you need to give yourself credit as well.
I used to have these weird dreams, even when you were lying. Like I remember there was a dark, like a laneway used to take you from one estate to another where I grew up. And there was a man at the top of the lane, and he used to live in a lovely bungalow, but when he moved out, the bungalow was left empty, and so was his garage. And I used to sleep in the garage. I would never, ever, ever like go into the house. The house was abandoned, but I wouldn't have went in it because it's just not right. Even if it is abandoned, I went into the garage, slept in the garage for a long time. But I used to always think that there has to be something more in life than this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I did I reconciled a few times with my parents and stuff like that, and like my sister did. She reached out to help me, but I told her I was living with friends, which wasn't true. I
Okay.
was staying in the garage, like, but it was
Were
kind of
you ever
difficult.
sleeping rough?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
I slept in that garage for a long time, to be honest. I got a job in a car wash, which was I don't think it was quite legal, to be honest, like, because I was only like 13, 14,
So
15.
you were 13 when you were homeless.
Yeah, well, I started basically at the age of 13. I kind of left home. I ran away. I didn't go to school,
You
and
ran
then I came.
away from home, okay.
Yeah, I was safer. Basically, I know it's a horrible thing to say, but kind of I was safer on away from home than when I was at home.
Wow.
Um, so I did, and then I ended up going back home because obviously, like, what I mean, law wise, police and stuff like that. There,
Yeah.
obviously, like, they always take you back home. But it kept just happening. I just kept leaving and coming back and leaving and coming back, and then I finally stayed with a friend whose mother and father said, like, listen, we'll look after him for a while. But because then legally again that wasn't allowed, there
Right.
would have had been like social services and all that kind of stuff. I ended up having to go back home again until I finally then coming up to 15, 16, I ran away, and then when I was 16 then I never looked back.
Did
And
you
that's
ever
where
tell
things started.
anybody? Did you ever tell anyone about the abuse?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've that's I went through a 3-year court case.
Was this when you were a teenager? Did you tell anybody back then?
I went to the police properly when I was 18.
Wow. And so
I told
when
the police.
they kept taking you back home, did you ever say anything
It
there?
was just I was more. It was the fact that I knew I was going back to, and it was more like a troubled teen, if you know what I mean. It
Yeah.
was like the whole: do I want to tell people? Do I not want to tell people? And to be truthfully honest, I don't know how to explain it. There's times that you feel that what was happening to me was like kind of disgusting for me, if you know what I mean. Like, it's like even now, it's embarrassing. It's kind of like embarrassing, but well, I didn't choose it to happen.
No, no.
But it's kind of like one of those things. The less people that knew, the better. So they used to ask me why I would run away and on. It was always the same thing. He's just a troubled teen. He's getting in trouble. Ooh, he's not
Mm.
doing his school, and he's fighting, and he's always harmful. It was just that usual stuff. But
Mm.
then finally, when I was old enough to just go and not have to turn around, I was talked into going to police then.
Mm.
And I went there when I was 18, and it took 3 years to get a court case.
And what happened in that court case?
Basically, I had to take a man up on charges that were, well, I think it was one of the largest cases of its kind. They come into that court, like, because well, as I say, it took 3 years. It was 3 years worth of getting that court case done. There was a lot of evidence. There was hours upon hours upon hours of police recordings and stuff. Like, it was quite brutal, to be honest. A lot of stuff I don't really like going on there because it is quite brutal. So
Yeah, yeah. And how did you hold yourself together through all that? 3 years is a long time.
then I tried to. No fear admitting it. Tried to commit suicide.
Right,
Um, I did. Had depression, like, really, really bad.
right.
Um, things get horrible, like, really horrible. It was so dark. I felt like it was on my own. And then, to be honest, I met a girl at that stage, and she stood with me through the court case and helped me through that. And then I think I don't know. I think when the court case was over, I kind of let go, if you know what I mean.
Mm.
It was kind of like right. I wouldn't really say I let go. It took about another year and a half. But I finally decided, well, do I really want this person controlling my life for the
Yeah,
rest of my life?
yeah.
That's not happening. So I just let go of it. I just finally let go of the hate and then the anger. And then, I know, I spoke to somebody once, and they just said to me, you really need to talk to people about this. And I was like, nobody needs to hear my story. And they're all, you'd be surprised how much it would help people.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So,
Definitely. I really appreciate you coming and talking about it today because I know, it can't be easy for you. But
Oh,
if there's anyone listening to this who is going through something similar, what would you have to say to them?
don't hold it. That's my biggest mistake. My biggest mistake was taking so long to go to the police. So long. I did get courage whenever I was 13 and I was going to go, and I didn't then because I was worried of what others would think about me.
Okay.
So if there's anyone at the moment that's going through this at all that needs help in any way, then I will give my contact details. Then that I am open to talk to anybody. But the best thing is go to the police and tell them everything. Tell them everything, because I held it for so long, worrying what others would think of me, and then when I finally told everyone, nobody treated me any different.
Why did you think people would think badly of you?
It's very uncomfortable to talk about, but basically when I was at school, I was getting bullied at school. In the changing rooms and stuff like that there, and I was getting bullied and stuff and all, and I'd be very secluded, no hideaway and stuff and all, and people used to think that was weird.
Yeah.
All my friends were out like partying and drinking at the weekends. I wasn't, so it was just the constant thing of people started calling me gay, and that's what I got all the time. He's gay, he's obviously gay, he's definitely gay, he's not interested in girls, he's gay. And because it was happening to me at home, then if I had told anybody that on top of what it was already getting in school, it would have been 10 times worse.
Yeah. And do you know what? That's an important message, isn't it? You know, for anyone who wants to start picking on someone or whatever, you never know what they're already going through.
You don't know what they're going through. Well, I wasn't the only one. I remember at school too, there was another boy who used to get bullied so badly. And it was a horrible thing. Used to go around school all the time. They used to call people by their mother's names. I don't know why that. I was just so silly. It was stupid.
Right.
And this boy lost his mum, and nobody knew it.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? So you never know what other people are going through.
No.
And like I had a lash out problem where I would just lash out at people and start shouting at people, or be really, and it was because of what I was dealing with, but nobody else understood.
Yeah, of course. So do you still have any contact with your family?
My sister, I stick with my sister. Me and my sister are probably, well, we're closer than any, to be truthfully honest. Like we always are. We're always close. She stood by me through so much, much ups and downs. She stood by me no matter what.
Amazing.
And then when her partner left, her and her daughter, whenever they were very young, I was the only man on the scene, which kind of reared my niece. So we're very, very, very close, like the whole family. So anytime I do anything or go anywhere, they're always involved, because they really are kind of the only family I've got, other than my children that I have now, like, but they're the only family I've got.
Amazing. That's good. So, when did you start acting? Let's talk about acting. How did all this begin?
I fell into it. Literally, I just fell into it. Do you know the late Richard Hatch from Battlestar Galactica? I spoke to Richard. I met him once, and he said to me, he goes, "Chris, you've got something about you." He goes, "It's like someone's shining from you, and I'm not too sure what it is." He goes, "You walk into a room, and you just demand attention." He goes, "But not in a bad way."
Yeah.
And I was like, right, and he goes, "You ever took up acting?" And I went, "No." And 2 days later, I rang a friend of mine, said to him, "Can you do headshots?" He was like, "Why?" I was all, "I'm thinking about acting." And I went, "Yeah, right," and started laughing. I was like, "No, I'm being serious." Got a headshot done. And then I think it was like 3 days after that, a guy advertised for a role in a film on Facebook. I applied for the role. Not really knowing what it was, just said gangster role. I applied for it. They asked for a self-tape, and I was all, "Yeah, of course, I'll give you a self-tape." Finished emailing him, and then looked at my partner and went, "What's a self-tape?" I didn't have a clue. I was like, I don't even know what that is.
I love, do you know what? That's awesome. Take the opportunity, then find out how to do it. That's brilliant. Love it.
I didn't have a clue. I didn't have a clue what a self-tape was. So I went online, and I was like, "Oh, right. So basically I stand in front of the phone, and I say a bit about myself and who I am, and then I read some lines." yeah, I'd probably do that. And then my partner goes, no, I think you need to read the lines as if you're the person. And I was all, right, okay, I'll do that. So I did it. And within 15 minutes, the guy rang me back, offering me the lead role. He said to
That's
me, he was all,
amazing.
wow. He goes, that's unreal.
Wow.
So that lead role, my first ever film. And then from there, it just went, oh, I don't even know how to explain it. The next few weeks was just like, I was getting people were phoning me, people were messaging me, and I wasn't applying for work because I didn't know how to, but people started like asking me on Facebook private messages, and it just went haywire.
Amazing.
It went through the roof.
Amazing. And you've done a lot of projects, haven't you?
Yeah, 23 now in 13 months.
How do you fit all that in?
I'd done 5 films in 4 weeks, which was one of the best. I had
Short
to leave my
films.
family.
How long were they? The film.
I done 3 short films, 2 feature films. The way it worked out was I started off with a feature film for a day's shoot, so that
Yeah.
was okay. It was a big fight scene, so that was
Yeah.
fine. Got that done. Went on the other feature film for, I'm pretty sure if I can get the days right, it was Wednesday, Thursday for the second feature. Then on Friday, Saturday, Sunday was a short film, the first one. Then the feature on Monday. The second feature then was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Short was the second short was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Back on the second feature for Friday to finish, and then the last short was Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I was away from my family the whole time, so what I was doing was I've got an estate car, so I was putting the seats down, sleeping in the back of the car, going to
Wow.
the gym in the morning, training in the gym, getting a shower in the gym, changing my clothes, brushing my teeth, and straight on set.
Dedication.
I've done that.
Do you know, a lot of people would have said, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. You just did it. You just made it happen.
There's nothing, to be truthfully honest, there's nothing you can't do. Do you know what I mean? I just
Totally agree with you.
uh,
Yeah.
it was
Awesome. And
tired.
what's your biggest achievement, would you say? Like what's your this I know this is a really hard question to answer, but what would you say is your best role so far, or the one that you've enjoyed the most?
Honestly, I done one on the start of March. It was called Sparrowhawk, which is going to be released hopefully later this year.
Cool.
Now, what was really, really good about it was why this one sticks with me is I mailed the director, and the director is a biker.
Yeah.
Now, he loves his motorbikes and all, so I didn't think this is where it gets really funny. He said he's seen my pictures and went, oh, he's got a lot of tattoos.
Yeah.
And I thought, you're a biker. You shouldn't worry about tattoos.
Yeah.
Well, that was kind of funny. But then he was all, I wasn't even going to watch your show reel because I didn't think he could play the part. And I went, right. And the part was an ex-UDR officer, which kind of fitted me perfect being from Northern Ireland. And he watched me show reel and he said that the minute he put it on, my show reel at the very start was my second ever film. The film had no like actual written script. It was all improv.
Right.
And I done a major speech, this major speech in the film. And that speech, it kind of took back the tutor at the university had done it. He couldn't believe it. He was all, wow, this guy's second film, that's improvisation. How is that even, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So the guy that was directing Sparrowhawk watched it, called his wife in and went, would he see this guy? He's unbelievable. Brought her in, watched it, told me he already had an other guy lined up for the part. But why take a guy who tries to do a Northern Irish accent when you can get a real one? And then we went on set, and he just, I know it was amazing. It kind of goes, right, I'm giving you freedom of your character. He broke down the character for me, and I just went for it. And there's a certain part in the film where I reach across the table at one of the actual suspects, like who's on the table, and that supposedly that was the performance of the film. I don't know, like, but we'll wait and see. But I just went for it. That one stuck. It was amazing. It was a really, really good role. It was something different, like, because I'm usually the henchman or the gangster,
Yeah.
or the tough guy, and it was good to be the opposite, like. It's good to be like a good
Yeah,
lawyer.
brilliant.
So
And when did you say that one comes out?
it'll be coming out probably. Well, I was chatting to the director, and he's saying sometime maybe September, October. So
Awesome,
I'm hoping for
awesome.
that.
And do you know where it'll be? Do you know how people will?
Well, it was set. We filmed in Darlington,
Oh,
so he may do like a show in there, hopefully, or no screening there. I'm not too sure what way, because he's looking to do something different. I love the way he thinks outside the box. He doesn't do the whole social media thing for it. He thinks outside the box. So I'm really looking forward to that.
amazing, amazing. Darlington, I've done a few films there myself.
We
Cool.
found this really, really well, he found this really nasty building, and it was nasty, and it was absolutely perfect for the film. It was
Oh,
so perfect,
brilliant.
amazing.
Brilliant. Um, so what have you got coming up? Because I know that we were just chatting for a little bit before this, and you
This
had
is where it was fun.
interesting things to say.
Yeah. Every time I speak about this, I get kind of emotional, to be honest. And I know it sounds weird, but I
Not
do.
at all, not
Um,
at all.
I never ever thought it, but I got a role in a TV drama series shooting in LA. Emergency LA. It's about like obviously the emergency services there, and I get to play an LAPD officer, Daniel Flynn.
Amazing. Do you know
That
Amy
alone,
then? Amy Kinder.
I do. Yep, Amy's on the same show, which
Oh,
is amazing.
brilliant.
Like, because it was funny though, because me and Amy spoke on Facebook,
Yeah.
and I didn't know she was doing the show yet, and I was in contact with the director, like the writer, and me and him were just chatting. We just spoke on Facebook, and we got on really well. And he said to me, he goes, "Chris, you've definitely got something."
Mm.
And then I went and met him in Norwich about, I think it was 2 Saturdays ago, at a wrestling event that he was over doing. And the minute we met, he said to me, "Listen, I want to tell you in person, I'm giving you a role in Emergency LA." And I was like, "Huh?" And in front of like 300 people, I nearly started to cry. I had to kind of walk away for a minute and go, all right, I can't even say anything here. It was just so, like, me as a kid, I always dreamed of America, dreamed of going to America.
Yeah.
And this is so, I don't even mind admitting this. I know, and a lot of people think, well, they always say it's kind of sad. But other than Northern Ireland and England, I've never been anywhere. I've never been on a plane before in my life.
Wow.
I've never been on a plane before in my life. I've never seen anything other than since I moved here, since I moved to the UK, I've been traveling everywhere. So acting has actually made me see pretty much, well, I don't even know, most of the major cities anyway.
Amazing.
And my first ever flight is going to LA, which is kind of
That's
scary.
awesome. That is awesome. And how long will you be in LA? Do you know?
Well, I've applied tonight for a 3-year visa. So basically, it's up to me then to find the work. I know we will be shooting. I'm hoping anyway. I'll be there, and the visa will be sorted to shoot July and August, and maybe September.
Mm.
And then I've got another role lined up. Hopefully, fingers crossed, in New Mexico for
Oh,
November,
cool.
playing
That one,
playing a
can you talk
role.
about that one?
Well, I haven't got the role yet, but basically, really, what I'll say without giving too much away is it's a true story, and it's about it's a western, but it's a true
Mm.
story. And I've been asked for the role, but I'm just waiting word back, so that'll be in November. But in May, then I have been selected as well, and they're just waiting for everything to fall to finalise for the rest of the cast. But I've been selected by quite a big film company. I have to watch what I say. Quite a big film company doing a brand new sort of psycho horror,
Yeah.
and I get to play the lead role. So that is absolutely massive, and that's being set in LA, and I was told it will be shown in cinemas worldwide.
Awesome. Right. Well, going to LA and, being in these amazing projects is something that most actors dream of. So what have you got to say to them? What advice would you give them?
As a kid, I used to look at magazines. I'm covered in tattoos.
Mm.
A lot of tattoos. most of my tattoos are American. Like I've remembrance things for 9/11. I've New York on my hand. I've got New York on me, but I'm obsessed with America.
Yeah.
Everything, like everybody else was playing football. I was in the American football. Everybody else is like
Oh.
cricket. I'm on the basketball. As you can see, everything's basketball. Everything's American. Everything I have been obsessed with. And I never, ever, ever thought for a second, 1 second, I would ever see it. I know it's just kind of, I'm trying to stay on the topic and answer, but like, get on the detail how it is for me is a lot of other people probably feel the same as me. I had this really weird feeling growing up that there had to be more. There had to be more. I couldn't stand stacking shelves. Don't get me wrong, I'm nothing against anybody who works, obviously, you know what I mean? But I just felt I couldn't do that. That's not for me.
Yeah.
And I used to watch shows about America, and everybody would be, oh, I'd love to go there. And I had that, just that little bit more. So what I would say to our actors is, if you've got that feeling, you'll know it's a different feeling to everybody else. You'll maybe sit and watch a film and your friends are all, oh, it'd be amazing there to be in that film. But you're like, no, I'm going to be in that film.
Yeah.
There's a little difference. It's like whenever the Avengers were here in Durham and everybody was all, Chris Hemsworth's in Durham, you going up? And I was all, no, because Chris ain't going to remember me from waving at him from 500 or 600 people.
Yeah.
I'll meet Chris someday. I'll meet him either at an award festival or maybe on a film. And people are all, yeah, right. But if you don't believe it, then why are you even starting a career in acting if you don't think you can do it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you know, people talk about how much they want things to happen, but they're not thinking from that place of it is happening. Once you decide this is happening and you truly believe it, that's when you're going to start taking the actions that you need to get you there. And that's exactly what you've done.
I met a man yesterday, or sorry, not yesterday, the day before in London when I was down for an audition. I was driving a Ferrari and I went up beside him and he was getting out of the car and I just said to him, absolutely beautiful car. And he goes, thank you. And I was like, I'm going to own one of those in about 5 years.
Brilliant.
And he looked at me and he goes, what do you do? And I was like, I'm an actor. And he goes, are you a good actor? And I was like, I'm the best. He's laughing, just laughing like being no, just having a laugh with him. And he laughed and he shook my hand and he goes, I don't doubt you for a second. And that kind of, even my partner looked for a second and went, you know what I mean? And your man turned to my partner and goes, because he's got the attitude I had when I started.
Yes.
You know, it's like,
love it.
It's not, it's trying to explain to people, it's not cockiness. It's not arrogant.
No.
I'm such a big dreamer. You know what I mean? Like,
it's having a strong, positive mindset and determination.
Yeah, it's like whenever I was in first year, they used to have a show on MTV, that MTV Cribs, and I used to watch it, and it was an escape for me. And people used to always go, "Oh my God, love that house!" And I'd be like, "No, I want a house like that.
Yeah.
I need that. If I don't succeed." I used to always say to myself, right, Chris, if you do nothing with your life, when you're lying on your deathbed, are you going to be happy with you done with?
Yeah.
And I just can't. I can't settle. Like, I can't. It's hard to explain. I think other people out there will know exactly what I mean, though.
Yeah,
because there's other people out there that'll be sitting there going, and they'll be looking at their life going, "There's more than this. I can do more than this.
Yeah.
I'm not stopping."
Totally.
And they just keep. That's why you go for it.
Totally.
Like I still sit.
Your attitude.
I sit and pinch myself. Is this really happening?
Yeah.
Like I have a habit where I go on IMDB every day just to make sure the credit's still there for Emergency LA, just to go, is this real?
Oh, amazing.
Real, because it's just, I don't know. They made it. It just feels like somebody else's life. It feels way strange.
But you know what? You deserve it.
No, I'm just doing what everybody else does. You know what I mean? I'm trying to. It's like. What's really funny is Len explained to me, the guy from Emergency LA. It's karma. It's all karma.
Yeah.
You do a good thing for one person and pass it on. So basically, the moment he did that for me, I just set out to help other people.
Yes.
Because of course, when I get there, I want to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I want to do bigger shows.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I think it's just a lot of people are obsessed with money. You know, with the money side of it, and the money would be great if you could just wake up every morning and not need to worry about food in your cupboards and
Uh-huh.
where your rent's getting paid and stuff like that, which a lot of actors have nowadays. A big problem.
Yeah.
But not thinking about money, just thinking about the fact that everybody back home and everybody I've connected with in my life will probably turn around and see what I've done and go, wow, he
Yeah.
actually did it.
Yeah, you'll
And
inspire people. Other
I think that
people might then go after their passions because they
exactly.
see.
Like,
Amazing. Chris, it's been really, really good chatting to you today. I think you're awesome. So tell
appreciate it.
people how they can get in touch with you.
Well, basically, you can find me on Facebook on Chris Torretto. Just send me a friend request, no problem at all. IMDB, just imdb.me//Chris Torretto. I am also on Instagram, Chris_Torretto_SME. And just basically, like, I'm always about, everybody knows me. Everybody kind of gets, it's like everybody from York universities, Middlesbrough University, Newcastle University. I've worked with them all and I absolutely love it. But yeah, best place to find me, IMDb, which will have all my credits on it to check me out. Spotlight, you can check me on Spotlight, and my email address there, agent's email address and stuff's there. So if anybody has any work going and needs me before I go, I am absolutely up for it.
Awesome. Chris, I wish you every bit of success in the world and have an amazing time in LA. I'll
Yeah, well,
speak
thank
to
you
you
for having me. I really appreciate
soon.
it.
Bye.
Bye.